Dear students, today's topic of my lecture, ray optics and optical instruments, chapter 9, part 1. So what you have to learn in this part 1 of ray optics? The first I will discuss refraction of light, then laws of refraction, then principle of reversibility of light, and at last refraction through a parallel glass slab or block. So one by one I explained you. The first is refraction of light. The refraction of light is the phenomena of change in the path of light as it travels from one medium to another. That is, when the ray of light is incident obliquely. And this phenomena occurs due to the change in speed of light from one medium to another medium. Let us see that how it happens. So here we are considering the two medium, one is rarer, another one is denser medium. Then the ray of light which incident from rarer medium to denser medium, then denser medium to rarer medium. And you see that the change of path of ray of light takes place. So here a ray of light which incident onto the denser medium at an angle I and get refracted making an angle R, that is angle of refraction, and this refracted ray incident onto the other point of the denser medium, then the ray of light that travel from denser to rarer, then finally the ray of light emerges from denser to rarer medium. So this emergent ray of light makes an angle I. So this phenomena is known as refraction of light. Now there are two laws of the refraction of light. The first one is the incident ray, the normal to the refracting surface at the point of incidence, and refracted ray all lie in the same plane. This is the incident ray, this is normal, this is refracted ray. So according to the first law of refraction, the incident ray, the normal to the refracting surface at the point of incidence, and refracted ray all lie in the same plane. Now second law, for a pair of given media and for light of the given wavelength, the ratio of the sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is constant, which is known as Snell's law. So sin I upon sin R equal to constant, and this constant is known as refractive index of the medium. So mu equal to sin I upon sin R, where mu is called refractive index of the medium, I is the angle of incidence, R is the angle of refraction. Now we have to study the effect of speed, wavelength and frequency due to the refraction of light. So you understand like that when a ray of light is refracted from rarer to denser medium, then the speed of light decreases, and when it is refracted from denser to rarer medium, then the speed of light increases. So because of this reason, when the ray of light that refracted from denser to rarer medium, then it bends towards the normal, and when refracted from denser to rarer medium, then it moves away from the normal. The second point is, due to the change in the speed of light in passing from one medium to another medium, the direction of the ray of light changes except for I equal to 0. Means when the ray of light incident along to the normal, then its direction does not change. At that time, the angle of incidence I equal to 0. And third point, which is very important, the frequency of light depends on the source of the light. Therefore, it does not change due to the refraction of light. Fourth point, when a ray of light travels from rarer to denser medium and the speed of light decreases, due to which wavelength of light also decreases because its frequency remains unchanged. As we know the formula, V is equal to nu lambda or F lambda. F frequency is constant, so speed of light directly proportional to the wavelength of light. So as the speed of light decreases, then the wavelength of light also decreases. Now some important points that you remember while applying the concept of the refraction of light in concept based problems and the numericals. So these important points are, the first one is mu of optically rarer medium is lower and that of a denser medium is higher. Means the refractive index of optically rarer medium is less than the refractive index of denser medium. Second point, mu of denser medium with respect to the rarer medium is more than 1, and that of rarer medium with respect to the denser medium is less than 1. And another point which is very important to remember it, refractive index of air is equal to the refractive index of vacuum and whose value is 1. And third point is, in refraction the velocity and the wavelength of the light changes. Fourth one, in refraction the frequency and the phase of the light do not change. And fifth one, refractive index of medium with respect to the air is the ratio of speed of light in air to the speed of light in medium. Or in terms of the wavelength of light, the refractive index of the medium with respect to the air is the ratio of wavelength of light in air to the wavelength of light in medium. So these are the some points which you remember it while you are applying the concept of reflection of light. Now the principle of reversibility. According to this principle, a light after suffering any number of reflections and refractions has its final path reversed, then it travels back along the same path in the opposite direction. Means after any number of reflections and refractions, when the ray of light reversed, then its final path exactly the same but in opposite direction. You can see in the diagram, xy is the interface which separates the two medium. Medium 1 is rarer, another one medium 2 is denser. NB and S is the normal, AB is incident ray, BC is refracted ray, and at the point C there is a plane mirror is placed Now what happens when the ray of light incident along AB makes an angle I, that is angle of incidence, then it gets refracted when it passes through the denser medium, makes an angle of refraction represented by small r, and this refracted ray BC incident perpendicularly to the point C at which a plane mirror is placed. So the BC which is incident onto the plane mirror is a normal incidence. So the ray of light reversed and follow exactly the same path but in opposite direction. Now we do some mathematical calculations to find the relation between the refractive index of second medium with respect to the first medium and refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium. So as you see in the diagram, the angle of incidence is ABN, which is represented by I. Similarly, angle of refraction CB and S, which is represented by small r. Then according to the Snell's law, mu21, refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium is sin I upon sin r. Mark this equation number 1. Now a plane mirror is placed to the path of refracted ray BC. This reverses the ray of light along its own path. So for the reverse ray, the angle of incidence CB and S, which is equal to R, and the angle of refraction, that is ABN, which is equal to I. So you can see here. Now according to the Snell's law, mu12 equal to, that is refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium, equal to sin R upon sin I. Here R is the angle of incidence for the reversed ray, I is the angle of refraction for the reversed ray. Mark this equation number 2. Now you multiply the equation 1 and 2, then we get sin I upon sin R into sin R upon sin I. So from here you can see that this sin R and sin R get cancelled, sin I and sin I also get cancelled. So you will get here 1. So 1 equal to mu21 into mu12, or mu21 equal to 1 upon mu12. You can also write it like that, mu12 equal to 1 upon mu21. So from here we get an idea that the refractive index of the medium 2 with respect to the medium 1 is equal to the reciprocal of the refractive index of medium 1 with respect to the medium 2. A natural consequence of the principle of the reversibility is that the image and object can be interchanged, and these positions are called conjugate positions. We take one example. If the refractive index with respect to the air find for the glass, then it is mu Ga equal to 3 by 2. That is the refractive index of glass with respect to air, mu Ga equal to 3 by 2. And if we want to find out the refractive index of air with respect to the glass, then it is the reciprocal of refractive index of glass with respect to air. So that's why mu Ag equal to 1 upon 3 by 2, which comes to be 2 by 3. Now refraction of light through a rectangular glass slab or block. Here KLMN is a rectangular glass slab, and there are two medium here. One is air, another one is glass. So when a ray of light incident along AO, which makes an angle of incidence I1, then it gets refracted along OB, making an angle R1, that is angle of refraction. Then OB incident onto the surface NM of the glass slab at an angle I2, and finally emerge out at an angle R2 and incident onto a plane mirror normally, so that it can reverse and follow exactly the same path. Now at point O, apply the Snell's law. Then mu21 equal to sine I1 upon sine R1. Then mark this equation number 1. Similarly, apply the Snell's law at point B. So it comes mu12 equal to sine I2 upon sine R2. Now a plane mirror is placed at point C, which is perpendicular to the emergent ray CB. Then the refracted ray retrace its path exactly. Then for the reverse ray, apply the Snell's law at point B on the surface MN. Then what you will get? At point M, this point is M, mu21 equal to sine R2 upon sine I2, because R2 is here angle of incidence, I2 is angle of refraction. Mark this equation number 3. Then from equation 1 and 3, we get mu21 equal to sine I1 upon sine R1, which is equal to sine R2 upon sine I2. Mark this equation number 4. Now since KL and NM are parallel, therefore R1 angle and I2 angle, they must be equal. So we can write sine R1 equal to sine I2. Now substitute this value in equation number 4. Then equation 4 becomes sine I1 upon sine I2. Means in place of sine R1, we have written sine I2 equal to sine R2 upon sine I2. Then here this sine I2 and sine I2 get cancelled. You will get sine I1 equal to sine R2. And so we can say that I1 equal to R2. Means angle of incidence and angle of emergence, they becomes equal. Then from here we get an idea. When a ray of light passes through a parallel sided transparent glass slab, the emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray. However, it is laterally displaced. And this lateral displacement, we can see that by dropping a perpendicular onto the incident ray, that is BD. Now we have to calculate this lateral displacement BD. So for that purpose, we drop a perpendicular BD on AO produced. Let angle BOD equal to delta, that is the angle of deviation. By this angle, the ray of light deviate from its path. Then in this triangle BOD, we will find out sine delta, which is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse, that is BD upon OB. So from here, the BD, which is the lateral displacement, equal to OB sine delta. Mark this equation number 6. Now we have to find out OB and substitute that the value of the OB in equation 6. Then we can calculate the lateral displacement. So for that purpose, we take a triangle OEB. Here we will find out cos R1. So cos R1 equal to base upon hypotenuse, that is OE upon OB. But OE is the thickness of glass slab. So we substitute the value of OE and then find out OB. So we rearrange it and write it OB equal to OE upon cos R1, and in place of OE, small t, which is the thickness of the glass slab, T upon cos R1. Mark this equation number 7 and substitute this value of OB from equation 7 in equation 6. So that's why from equation 6 and 7 we get BD equal to T upon cos R1 sine delta. That is called lateral shift or displacement. Now in place of delta, we can write I1 minus R1. How you can write? This angle is I1, then this whole angle is also I1, but this angle is R1, then this angle delta is I1, this angle minus this angle. So this angle is I1 and this is R1. So delta equal to I1 minus R1. So if we know the value of the thickness of the glass slab, an angle of incidence I1, an angle of reflection R1, then we can find out the lateral displacement or the displacement by which the incident ray get deviated. Now this lateral displacement that depends on first one, thickness of the glass block or the slab. Lateral displacement increases with the increase in the thickness of the medium. As you see that the displacement is directly proportional to the thickness of the glass slab. Second point, the angle of incidence, means it depends on to the angle of incidence. Lateral displacement increases with the increase in angle of incidence. As you have derived the formula, BD equal to T upon cos R1 sine I1 minus R1. Similarly, the third point is the lateral displacement that depend on to the refractive index of the glass, and therefore also it depend on to the wavelength of light used. Refractive index increases with the decrease in wavelength of light, because according to the Cauchy's formula, refractive index is inversely proportional to the wavelength of light. So lateral displacement increases with the decrease in wavelength of light. So these are the 3 points on which the lateral displacement depends. If you like my video, then like it, subscribe, press the bell icon, stay safe, stay healthy, learn physics with my YouTube channel by staying at home. Thank you and have a nice day.